This man wasn't meant to be here today. I thought we'd sold him. I thought we got rid of him. Twice, in fact. He twice turned down offers from Atletico Madrid and Tottenham to leave. Benoit Badiashile, a man who I was kind of okay selling at one point. He's weaseled his way into getting me to provisionally offer him a new contract at the end of the season of £50,000. I'm not sure how he's done it. He might be the master of seduction. To be fair, he's been playing very, very well, and despite the fact that he's not left, we did a little bit in the transfer market before the end of the window. Let's talk about that in just a mo. How's it going, folks, and welcome back to Atalanta. Today is episode number 13, if I'm not mistaken. If that's wrong, well, then I'm an idiot. Today we've got the Champions League first knockout round. We're doing the first and second leg. There's a little bit of space between them, so I've got bright and early to record part one. Then there's going to be decorating going on behind me. The background is going to completely change, and maybe a little bit change behind me. And then we're going to come back for the second leg later on today. I'm very excited for things, but as I already mentioned, there's a place we have to start. That's the transfer market. Now, we did have a semi-active end to the January window. The most notable sale, Koopmeiners. We already knew he was leaving. He has gone to Real Betis for £19 million. Alongside him, a few other players leaving for sums of money. A few players going out on loan. Most of these squad players, Atalanta have such a crazy squad just full of kind of under-20s they're hoarding. I guess one of the mini side missions of this save game has been getting rid of those players. We are now slowly but surely getting on top of it. One of the more notable players to leave the club, though, was Sekou Koita. He's gone on loan to Hamburger for the end of the season. As you can see here, he is out on loan, £59,000 a week. So far, 2 goals in 4 games in the Bundesliga. I'm hoping that he's going to go out on loan, pump up his value, and then we can cash in on him on the summer, because he's not been very good for us so far, really. Elsewhere, Salcedo has left us to go to Verona on loan. You might remember last year Verona were doing really, really well. They were up in kind of 9th and 8th place over the previous couple of seasons. This year, they're down in 15th. They are having a torrid time towards the bottom of the league. And, I guess the silver lining for them is they're not Empoli or Lecce. But, yeah, it's not looking great for them down there. As for signings, we've got a big one coming at the end of the season. But before we talk about that chap, let's talk about a couple of players we stole from Benfica. The first, Chur Endor. His contract was running up at the end of the year. I approached to sign him, and, we've snapped him up. Italian youngster. He has a little bit of potential. At 18 years old, I think he just represents a pretty good low-risk transfer. We were able to exercise a buy now option, having, agreed a pre-contract. So £120,000 for him to join us. He looks like he could be rather good. Another player who I spotted at Benfica whilst looking at Endor was this man, though. Rafael Luiz, 18 years old, capped for the Portuguese under-20 side. Well-rounded centre-mid, model citizen personality. As soon as I see a player with model citizen personality, I look at them and think, you're going to develop. So I'm hoping that's going to be the case with Rafael Luiz here. You can see last year he played a bit for SLB B, Benfica's B team. As for how he's going to do for us, well, he's not in the first team just yet. Only £1 million paid, so a low-risk investment, really. But yeah, very excited to see how he develops and gets along over the next few years. He only turned 18 a few days ago. We got a birthday cake out, don't worry, I remembered. But no, he could be a very exciting one for the future, I think. Now, the next signing might feel like a weird one, but I'm going to attempt to justify it. If we just look at our team, with Salcedo and Koita going out on loan, we are left with 4 first-team strikers. We've got Raspadori, Guiri, Lucia, and Fabio Silva. And I had like 30 million in the bank, so I thought, is there somewhere I could maybe invest this money as part of a longer-term plan? And so, and this is going to be a weird signing to reveal, I've signed Benjamin Sesko. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would you sign another striker? Look, he joined us at the end of the season, and I see this man joining us as a bit of an insurance policy. It means that if a big offer comes in for Raspadori, the replacement's already here. If we get an offer for Guiri, the replacement's already here. And, well, if we don't get an offer for any of our strikers, we've got another very good striker, and maybe I have to sell on Fabio Silva there. Nevertheless, we've paid, if we just look at things here, £23 million. It's all up front. It's a really simple deal from that kind of point of view. And I just think he's neat. I think he's going to be useful. Like I said, it's an insurance policy, long-term investment. And, I mean, it's Benjamin Sesko. He's very good in Football Manager, isn't he? So I feel like there's no harm in signing him. So that's where I spent my surplus money on another striker. So whilst I didn't sign any new defenders in the window, there is kind of one player who's emerged in the first team as of late, and that is Wisdom Ame. Now, this chap we signed for 800k from Bologna last year. I'm very, very keen to see him develop. I'm very, very keen to thrust him into the first team. He's 17 years old. He is an absolutely fantastic player who is only getting better and better. If we look at his development since he joined the club, he's improved crazily. So with that in mind, I have promoted him to the first team. With Koopmeiners leaving the club, there will be the occasional opportunity for Ame to play. You can see he has already played one match in Serie A, and he got a 7.6 rating, so not too far out of his depth. No doubt I'm rushing him slightly, but I think when you look at his development, when you look at how good he could be, it's just sensible, really. He looks special. So last time we returned from the winter break with 2 wins and also 2 clean sheets, and following on from that, we've gone on an interesting run of games. We started the month of January after those Serie A games by winning in the Italian Cup against Torino. It finished 3-2 in this one, and then we beat Lecce, struggling down towards the bottom of the table, 3-0. Following on from that, though, we had games against Roma, Juve, and Milan, and it was a bit of a mixed bag. We kicked things off with a 1-1 draw against Roma. This was a weird game. At home, I back us to be the better team. In the end, we had to come back from behind. Lucci getting on the score sheet, and well, that's kind of been the story of the last month or two. He is probably going to be playing ahead of Guerri today. His form has been absolutely mad. In Serie A, 10 goals, 7 assists, a 7.61 rating. He's developing a ton. He looks sensational. And alongside Raspadori, we've got that kind of traditional little and large strike partnership, and they're just very fun to watch together. I'll tell you what, it's a good job I've never implied that the unbeaten season was on, isn't it? Because, well, we lost against Juventus. 2-1. Juventus this year are actually struggling quite far down the league table, but as it turns out, they've still got quite good players. In the end, it was Vlahovic scoring the all-important goal in the 62nd minute. It was only his 9th of the season, I believe, when he scored that. He's had a bit of a slow one, had an injury as of late. As you can see, though, we were just second best in this game, and whilst it's disappointing, it's not entirely surprising, it's Juventus. So after a little bit of a wobble, I was scared going into February, thinking we've got Milan next, not just in the league, but in the cup. And, well, I need not worry, as it turns out. First game in the league, 7-0. Yeah, 7. This was a game where we didn't concede many chances, and everything that we touched just seemed to end up in the back of the net. A flurry of goals early on really eased the nerves. You can see Pessina, Sanchez, Raspadori, Guerri, DeMarco. Everyone was getting in on the score sheet. Heck, even Ravella, as the Roman playmaker, snagged 2 assists. It was a great performance, and we followed that up with another win. This time we didn't quite get 7 goals. We got 6 though, and well, Raspadori got 4 of them. Guerri got the other 2. This game definitely flattered us a little more in the cup, but having just won against them previously, I didn't touch the team at all. I thought we'll just let the same players do it again, and they did do it again. So after 2 games against Milan with 7 goals scored, it was only right that we had another game with 7 goals, this time against Fiorentina. Unfortunately, we didn't get all 7. They got off to a really, really good start through Gonzalez, but we fought back well, and in fact, before half-time, we were 3-1 to the good. We knocked the ball around nicely, confidently. Luca in this game, he picked up a hat-trick. That was his first one, and well, he's going to go on to get a few more as we watch these highlights. He was absolutely sensational in front of goal. A bit of a fox in the box. Renato Sanchez, by the way, adding to his score tally yet again. He and Pessina were a little bit slow starting, but with all these high-scoring games, they've been getting goals and assists that just kind of pump up their ratings. Speaking of assists, there was one there as Luca hammered it in from range. And, well, that made it 3-1. But it didn't stay 3-1 for very long, because as you can see here, Fiorentina mounted a little bit of a comeback. Gonzalez scored for them first. They'd get another goal not long later to make it 3-3. And with an hour played, it was all on the line. Having had a few wobbles in the league, was desperate to win this one. They had a sending off, and not 2 minutes later, we capitalised on the man advantage. Raspadori into the wide areas, Badiashile, Ravella, Grassi, Luca. Lovely, lovely goal. That was his hat-trick on his left foot, not for the first time scoring on his weaker foot in this run of games. He got a 9.8. To be honest, on the whole, it was kind of a disappointing game. But we took the chances that came our way, and it was the Luca show. This wasn't the last time we'd have a Luca show either. So having beaten Fiorentina, a 3-0 win against Verona followed. Good performance there. Hattabor and Raspadori getting on the score sheet. Raspadori, by the way, 21 goals in 17. Still behind Immobile. The top goal-scoring chart. The standard this year for strikers in this league is very, very high. Most recently, we took on Cagliari and we won 5-2. Luca scored the best free kick I've seen all year in Football Manager. I've paused it. I'm building up the anticipation. Shall we hit the play button? He has the trait, shoots from range with free kicks. This is what he did. I've gone for the behind the goal angle there to really show the curve. It was mental. You know what? I don't think it's over the top to watch it again. Let's watch it from the regular angle. Just drink it in. Have you seen a better free kick than that? It was going like 10 yards wide. Roberto Carlos, eat your heart out. Yeah, you can see the whole stats here. Luca got a perfect hat-trick. Zakharyan got a goal and some assists. And all in all, just a good day at the office. So plan of attack for today, taking on Chelsea twice. First at the Bridge, then at home. Worth noting, we have got some league games in between, as well as the Italian Cup semi-final first leg. We're not going to do the first leg, because we'll probably do the second leg against Lazio. And to be honest, I'm sick of seeing Lazio. I think you guys might be too. And as nice as the Italian Cup is, it's not the priority. I'm sorry to burst any Italian fans' bubbles. It's not my priority this year, the Italian Cup. I'm sorry. In terms of team selection for today's game, I've already alluded to it. Luca is going to start. I've been playing him as a target forward on attack alongside Raspadori. It has been where he's played the best. The target forward role this year is very, very strong in Football Manager. If you've not used it, you should try it out, genuinely. If you watch Park to Prem, you've already seen Stephen Gold ruin the entire footballing pyramid with it. But no, this man has been absolutely mad. 7 goals and 3 assists in his last 5 games. Hopefully that's going to continue alongside Raspadori. Elsewhere in the team, Ravella is going to continue as our Roman playmaker. He really has made this role his own. He's been developing nicely. And what maybe he lacks in attributes, I think he more than makes up for just in his player traits. His player traits for this role are just so well suited. Long range passes, dictates tempo, comes deep to get the ball. It all just synergizes really nicely as being kind of a quarterback player for us at the back. And I guess the fact that he's on a 7.29 rating in that role kind of highlights that. Last year's players that we played as a roving playmaker didn't get ratings anywhere near that. Ahead of him, we've got Renato Sanchez and Pessina. Looking at their recent form, 7.74 rating in his last 5 for Renato Sanchez. Pessina with a 7.48. And in fact, if we just look at the average rating and the ratings for the last 5 games, you can kind of see the pattern here. It's just a sea of green. There's green everywhere. Everyone's playing amazingly. I don't really see a need to change it. In at the back, we've got Marco. He has just signed a new contract, by the way, which kicks in, if I'm not mistaken, I thought it kicked in at the end of the year. I am mistaken. It doesn't kick in at the end of the year. It kicks in now. It's £52,000 a week to 2027, but there's an optional 3-year extension. So it's basically a 7-year contract. And with Coop Miners leaving the club, I've made a rather bold move. I've made him captain. We don't have loads of natural leaders, and I feel like this is a man who has come to the team, made it his own. He's got good determination, good leadership. His teamwork's decent as well. I've decided to make him my captain. The more I think about that, the more I think it might have been a mistake, but it's not impacted our form so far. In at the back, we've got Badiashile with his new contract. Romero in the middle has also recently signed a new contract. And you know what? To complete a hat-trick, Saleh has also got a contract on the table. Will he take it? Won't he take it? I'm not sure. I'm about to pay him £80,000 a week, which is a big, big hike. But with our European run this year, we've got a lot of money in the bank. The wage budget has jumped up. And I feel like I need to use that wage budget to tie our best players down to long-term deals. Speaking of which, one last thing before we get into today's game. Raspadori has signed a new deal, £120,000 a week, kicks in at the end of the season. It's a 5-year deal. And if I'm not mistaken, I was able to get an optional 3-year extension on it at that price. So whilst it is going to make him comfortably the highest earner in the club, given the fact we had £80 million bids in the winter, and he's quite important for us, getting him on a new deal, tying him to a super long contract, it just kind of felt sensible. Anyway, a whole lot of stuff going on and off the pitch. The main headline here is lots of our best players signing new contracts. I feel like we're tying down the core of this team, and well, hopefully this young squad is going to be able to show what they are capable of in this Champions League run. We have shown in the last month or two we are beatable. We're not this unstoppable force that perhaps we looked like earlier in the year. Juve have stopped us. Roma have stopped us. But that said, I feel like we've got a chance. We've got to be wary, though, of Asensio, Havertz and Lukaku. That is a terrifying front three. I did notice they've got Quatters at the heart of their defence. I'm going to hope that Raspadori and Luca can make the most of that. I am wondering if I should switch to wing-backs for today's game. But you know what? I've not been making that change as much lately. I'm going to stick with what we've got here. Marco going to attempt to play it out from the back. I'm a little bit paranoid that with their 2 centre attacking mids and their striker, they're going to be able to crowd out our 3 centre-backs as we look to play out from the back. That is going to be something to, I suppose, keep an eye on. If it looks like we're struggling with playing out from the back, I might even look to micromanage a little and change that instruction. It's not that often that you come up against a team that are playing with 2 centre attacking mids and a striker, but when you do, it can be pretty difficult to play it out from the back. Anyway, we've got the ball here. Soleil to Mela. Renato Sanchez tries to pick out Raspadori, but De Vrij is there to win it. Jorginho to De Vrij. Asensio. A very good creative heartbeat in this Chelsea team, but dispossessed. And now Pessina carrying it forward. Tries to thread through his partner in crime, Sanchez. And I'll tell you what, I put Coates under the microscope before the game, with good reason. He stuck out like a sore thumb to me, and, well, he's had an absolute mare there. The ball by Pessina, having won the ball, was a tiny bit ambitious, but Coates helped it on its merry way, and if there's one man in our team you don't want to pass it to, it's Raspadori. He will score chances like that. He has scored a chance like that. 1-0 inside the first 5 minutes. I was about to say a crucial away goal. Away goals don't exist anymore, do they? That is a shame. Don't get me wrong. I don't know why they've got rid of away goals, but when you're in this situation, you kind of wish they were still around, don't you? Anyway, we're on the attack again. Pessina, DeMarco. DeMarco again. Mela, back post, heads it. Mendy, tested, and, well, he has passed this test. I don't think he had much of a chance for the first one, so maybe he'll feel a little grateful to get his first save of the game. He's now going to look to launch it long, and I'll tell you what, Asensio's taken it down with snow on the ball. It went that high up in the air. Fortunately for us, he's missed the target. Coming up to half an hour played here. It's not exactly been a classic so far in this game. Just looking at the stats, we're edging out possession, trying to maybe force a turnover here at the back, as well as Chelsea look to play out from the back. They've had a couple of chances, but not nearly as good as ours. Although I say that, our XG massively inflated from that first highlight and first goal, where it was basically an open goal. And, well, we might have defending to do here, because Ben Chilwell is on the near side. He's putting it in towards Lukaku. A weird low cross to Lukaku. I feel like Lukaku's the kind of striker you want to float the ball into. They haven't done so there, but they have got 2 players that we have to be wary of. Romero gets away from danger. Of course, after the weekend's football just played in real life, I'm sure Romero is really up for this game at Stamford Bridge. No hair pulling. And, well, they've got a corner. Imagine if he gave away a foul from a corner now after I've said that. Asensio bringing it into the middle. Chalobah in possession. This Chelsea team are a really, really strong side. Kai Havertz, options inside. Ben Chilwell on the overlap as well, as is Reece James on the other side of the pitch. He's got the ball. He floats it towards Lukaku. Soleil gets a big head on it, but it's back with Reece James. Options queuing up in the middle. Whip to the back post. No one quite there, though, as Havertz is now going to try and put it in, and he has put it in. Kovacic getting a really, really, well, nicely finessed header, to be honest. I didn't think he was going to score a header from there. It looked like an impossible angle, and somehow he's found the back of the net. I thought maybe the chance had gone with that cross there by Reece James, but Kai Havertz recycles possession, floats it in, and I think Romero probably should have won the header there. And I don't know, should Marco have saved that? Am I being harsh on the goalkeeper if I think he should have saved that? Let me know. At the break here, it is 1-1. Not a terrible result by any means if it was to finish like this. I'm pretty happy with the first half performance. Look, let's be real here. As well as we're doing in Serie A, we are a long way from the likes of Chelsea in the Premier League in terms of overall squad quality. But we've got a young, exciting squad, which I hope is only going to get better. Matches like this provide a learning experience, and while Raspadori played through, I think he looked offside, but while the flag stayed down, he wasn't offside. That was a golden opportunity. He has squandered it, kicked straight at the keeper. We might live to regret that. So far in this game, not been the best of matches for our midfield. Mela has struggled. Pessina and Sanchez haven't been at their best, although Pessina, when we've seen him, I think has actually done okay. I'm going to bring in Zakharyan. Right back, I'm going to bring in Hateboer. I think I've got to keep Romero on for now. He's not having the best of matches, but I just need to save a sub. And I think some fresh legs in the midfield are much more important. They've got a set piece here, though. De Vrij heads it, and 2 headers in this game for Chelsea, 2 goals. This one was a set piece. And De Vrij was just unmarked to the edge of the box. Who was marking him? Ravella is marking him. He is significant. In fact, it wasn't even Ravella. Who was it? It was Raspadori. I mean, Raspadori and Ravella just shouldn't be doing the marking, should they? They both look completely out of place there in the middle. Chelsea make it 2-1 here. You know what? I'm beginning to think this is a game where maybe I just play for what we've got, because Chelsea have definitely stepped up in the second half and we've not looked nearly as good. Luka's not had a good game today. I'm going to bring in Gouiri. Worth noting, when I've been playing Gouiri, I have dropped the complete forward and started playing him as an advanced forward instead. So we kind of just play with 2 AFs. Since we made that change, he has played better. And, well, I don't know, 2-1 at the Bridge? It's not a terrible performance, to be honest. It's going to get worse if they score another set piece, though. Quatters on this occasion heads over. I mean, the nature of the 2 goals we've conceded kind of sucks because, well, the one was a cross that came from nothing and the other was a set piece where we just didn't mark up. We have, however, maybe got a chance here. Zakharyan plays it and Gouiri goes down in a heap. VAR is going to review this. Gouiri to Zakharyan. 2 subs linking up. Am I about to look like a genius? Are we going to get the penalty? We are going to get the penalty. And I think you know who's going to step up for it. It's going to be Raspadori. Can he score it? The number 11. He's been pretty good at scoring this year. This might be his most high-pressure penalty of the season yet, but you wouldn't know it. He makes it 2-2 here. Goal number 31 of the season. We're only in February. He's been absolutely mad this year. Lovely, lovely finish into the bottom corner. Keeper went the right way but couldn't get there. And with, well, a few minutes left of this game, I'm going to get rid of play-out defence and tell the players to go a little more direct with how we play. Hit early crosses. I feel like they're going to press high and try and force an error in what's left of this game. So with that in mind, I kind of just want to go, I don't know, a little bit more hoofbally. I don't want us to lose the ball in our own half trying to play pretty football. At this point, I'm quite happy for this game to end. And, well, I can be happy because the game has ended. Raspadori with 2 goals. To be honest, both gifts. A little fortunate. When you kind of discount that pass that was given straight to him and the penalty, our XG really wasn't as impressive as it looks on the overall stat lines. Ultimately, though, tough away game. We've come away with a 2-2 draw, unlike Juventus, who at home have just been hammered by Real Madrid. Things not looking good for the Italian coefficient, if that's anything to go by. So a really, really good result for us there, but that is not the last game of today's episode. We've got Chelsea again. We play them on the 15th of March. 3 games between then and now. I'm going to go away and join you guys for that. If everything looks different, don't be alarmed. I've just had a busy day of decorating and stuff. Anyway, I'll see you in a mo. Does anything look different? Does anything feel? Maybe it feels a little different. My house is coming back together, and we're back together here for game 2. Second leg against Chelsea. First leg, 2-2 at the Bridge was not too bad. I think we got rather lucky, to be honest. In the 4 games since, it's not been plain sailing either. We beat Empoli 2-1. We beat Spezia 1-0. In the Italian Cup semi-final first leg, we beat Lazio 2-0. This is perhaps the most difficult of the games that we've played, but Luka came up big. You might notice Raspadori not in the team for this one. He's been out with an injury, and to be honest, we missed him being at his best as we took on Genoa, and having scored in the first minute, having seen Fabio Silva score, he went off injured before half-time, and then we bottled it. Bianchi for them scoring with pretty much the last kick of the game. One of those matches where we didn't deserve to lose, but we did lose. So just looking at the league table, we are still top for now, 5 points ahead of AC Milan. Truth be told, I think they're the only team that can realistically catch us, the former champions, but we've got to be wary of them. And, well, I can't afford to delay too long before we get into the Chelsea game, but I do feel like it's just worth mentioning. Top 6 players with average ratings in the league this year. All of our players, yeah, that feels quite good, doesn't it? That looks quite good. And Mailer sneaking in at 9th too. Now, I mentioned the Raspadori injury. He was out with a pulled hamstring for 10 days. Good news, though, he is back, ready and raring to go today. Been rested like many of our players. And I've just realised I'm not on match day for the Chelsea game yet. Let's get there. I've jumped the gun, hit and start recording. I was too excited. Too excited, I say. Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day. We're taking on Chelsea at home, and, well, we are taking on N'Golo Kante, who I feel like I've just done a weird tribute act to. Anyway, let's talk about our team. It's the full-strength team. It's the full shebang today. 1 player missing, that is Darun. I've just realised we have a spot on a bench for another player. Do we put a goalkeeper on the bench? You know what? We'll put Freuler on the bench. Why have we got that gap, you might wonder? It's because of Cope Miners leaving the club. The former captain, I've not updated my preset 11. that I clicked quick pick on. I will just show this because I know some people don't know it exists, but if you have a team selection you're happy with, you can go to manage and hit save team selections and then have presets. So if you just want to have a quick way to get your best 11, good to know about. Maybe that's helped someone at home. If that has helped you, if you didn't know that existed, let me know in the comments. Maybe I should just throw in more random tips with these videos. Anyway, we are going to get into this one 2-2 after the first leg. It is a big game, a big occasion, having slipped up in the week with our league game because I rested the first team so they were ready for this game. I desperately want us to win this game because if we don't, then basically I've lost a league game to rest the players for nothing. We have got an early set piece here. Soleil near post, heads it goalwards. Just over the bar, but good to see some attacking intent early on here from us. Another chance for us here. DeMarco on the near side. Chelsea still playing their 5 at the back with the 2 centre attacking mids. Luca, I'll tell you what, he very nearly scored there. He's headed it against the crossbar. It's bounced away to safety. Worth noting that in this Football Manager universe, after Lukaku went on loan to Inter Milan, he's actually returned to Chelsea. They didn't buy him. And, he's playing for them against us here. We're going to have to try and keep him quiet. He's quite scary in Football Manager, I feel like. I guess they're probably saying the same stuff about Raspadori and Luca, though, right? We've got scary players. They've got scary players. I have a feeling this game isn't going to finish 0-0. Put it that way. There's too much attacking talent on display. And well, speaking of which, can we get the ball forward to that talent? Mailer, down this right-hand side. Options in the middle. Floats it back post. DeMarco, oh my word, he's headed it goalwards. It's hit the post. Not a player you're back to score a header from there, but he very nearly got us ahead. We have still got a corner. DeMarco, can you make something happen here? Soleil is under it again, but not for the first time. Chelsea dealing with the corner well. And, if you've played Football Manager, you now know how this highlight ends. There's going to be a foul. There's going to be a tackle. It's going to go out for a throw-in, and then the highlight just ends. I really hope they fix that next year. Another corner for us here. DeMarco floats it in. Soleil, take a bow, my friend. Only goal number 3 of the season for him. DeMarco, I mean, he's quite good at crossing, is DeMarco, and he's shown he's quite good there. It's not sexy. It's not pretty. Let's be honest, our 3 goals so far in this game have been a gift to Raspadori, a penalty, and now a corner. We're not playing the prettiest of football to get the results, but look at the possession, look at the shots, look at the difference between the two teams. We've been on top in this game. We're playing really well. Maybe a chance for us here. Mailer's won the ball. Back to Luca. Mailer playing it forward to Pessina. The box-to-box midfielder finds himself in an advanced area. And I'll tell you what, he has sledgehammered that home. 2 goals in the first half. A goal right before half-time is going to be a sucker punch to Thomas Tuchel's men. Mailer winning the header, gives it to Luca. Luca back to Mailer. Pessina, the box-to-box midfielder. He just arrives, and on that left foot of his, he has hammered that home. It wasn't into the corner. It wasn't one of those ones where you find the very, nook and cranny of the goal. He's just smashed it down the middle. Mendy couldn't stop him, and we look really good here. Chelsea have not yet had a shot on target in this home game, and in front of our fans, we're doing really well. Been a little bit of a quiet game from our strikers in this game so far. Raspadori on a 6.6, Luca on a 6.7, but everyone else is playing well, and defensively, we're not looking like we're going to concede. We're looking like a team where it doesn't really matter if our strikers don't show up. We're playing really well. Scalvini at centre-back today, coming in for Romero, who's suspended, who is a big miss for us, make no mistake. Well, we could have a chance here. DeMarco, Luca, through, should have scored, didn't score. Puts it the wrong side of the post. Coming up to the hour mark, Raspadori plays through Sanchez. Another one of our centre mids bursting through the middle. And another one of our centre mids finding the back of the net. Pessina and Renato Sanchez have come in this year. They're basically 2 new signings. I mean, obviously we signed Sanchez. Pessina returned from his loan that he's on in real life with Monza. And let's talk about this finish, shall we? I thought for a second the defender might be able to get back and clear it off the line, but the ball makes it over the line. That makes it 3-0. I was about to make some changes. I am going to make some changes. Luca, you can have a break. On you come, Guiri. Elsewhere, I was thinking about bringing in Zakharyan. I don't really want to take off Pessina or Sanchez now, though. And to be honest, the rest of the team is playing so well. This doesn't feel like a match where I need to make subs. I'm just going to leave them to it. DeMarco on the far side, throwing it to Ravella, playing as that roaming playmaker. Raspadori, DeMarco. Guiri's lurking at the back post. It's overhit, though. He will be able to keep it alive. Ravella, Pessina. Back to Ravella. Badiashile now with it. Worth noting that I think in this game we've got 7 Italians in the starting 11. Really cool to see. as is that. Renato Sanchez has scored another. The centre mid's on for a hat-trick. It's 4-0 against Chelsea at home, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't really know what to tell you. We have absolutely demolished them in the middle. Chelsea with all their players behind the ball, and yet this intricate passing just works for us. Renato Sanchez, one touch, hammers it in. It's in the back of the net before Mendy can react. And, well, if you didn't think the game was over, at 3-0 on the night and 5-2 in aggregate, I think at 6-2 it is over. And I'll tell you what, it could get worse. Scalvini looking to get his noggin on it. It's headed away to Mason Mount. Even a goal now for Chelsea, I think, would only feel like a consolation. Soleil reads it well. Marco in goal for us. Has he had a save to make yet? No, they've not had a shot on target so far in this game, but maybe an opportunity here as well. Raheem Sterling squanders possession, and now we look to catch them on the break. Koulibaly reads it nicely, but Mendy gives it straight to Raspadori, who probably should have scored there. He's hit the crossbar. In another game, I'm probably really annoyed about that miss, but the good news for us here is it doesn't really matter. It's a bit of a party atmosphere going on here. It's a bit of a carnival, I feel like, at this point. I'm just having fun watching us play. And, well, to Marco, by the way, he's on a 9.2 out on the left-hand side. I think I'm going to sub him off here just so he can have a standing ovation. Elsewhere, Mela and Sanchez are looking a bit tired. I'm going to move Renato Sanchez out into the wide areas and then bring in Zakharyan for Mela. Maybe limits Renato Sanchez's chances of getting his hat-trick moving in wide, but I just want to rotate things around here. I feel like for Zakharyan, this is a good opportunity to bring on the 19-year-old to further his development. And while Raspadori might be about to put the icing on the cake, he is indeed. It's goal number 32 of the season. He's been out with injury. He's back now. He's back on the score sheet. 5-0. I don't even know what to say at this point. It's 5-0. Has their goalkeeper been bad? Are they bad? Are we amazing? I think it's probably a bit of a combination of everything. Not for the first time in this fixture. Mendy has been dinked. If there were nerves at 2-2, they don't exist anymore. We are going marching on. We are going to be in the Champions League quarter-final. And I think I just caught there, Lukaku ended the game on a 5.9. He has been absolutely contained by our defence. Badiashile and Soleil playing well. Scalvini, the 19-year-old, showing up in a game like that. I say showing up. We didn't really see him do anything, but that's just because, well, our defence did everything that they needed to do. They weren't really tested, in truth. And it doesn't get much better than that. We win. Juventus are out. I think I saw AC Milan have already made it through. And well, we are going to be in the quarterfinal. As I already mentioned, I'm not sure when it's scheduled for, but I imagine that's going to be when we're back next time. So in fact, the Champions League quarterfinal is only a couple of weeks away, and in between it, there's a game against Inter Milan, which I'm very tempted to do. Been a little while since we did a triple header. I think that could be quite an appetising prospect. We're looking really, really good at the moment. Hopefully we get a nice, easy draw in the Champions League. Speaking of which, it's in 2 days, so let's go see who we get. I know I mentioned it during the last game, but I love how many Italian players we've got in our team here. In that last match, we had 7 Italians in the starting 11. There's kind of part of me that would like to get success with this Atalanta team and then try and get rid of all the non-Italian players and just build an Italian team and see if we can dominate Serie A and Europe just with, well, an Italian roster. I feel like we've got so many good, exciting young players. There's a few, obviously, exciting young Italians in the kind of waiting in the wings and the reserves. Players like Wisdom Ame, for example. That could be a pretty cool end goal, I feel like, to go towards with this series if we have success this year, which, I mean, at the moment it looks like we're going to have, but let's not speak so soon. We're only in the quarterfinals. Let's see who we are going to get drawn against, please. Man City are in there, and we've drawn Man City straight away. It's not really the draw I wanted. We have also got the semi-final draw. If we beat Man City, who are we going to be rewarded by playing, you might wonder? We're about to find out immediately. It's going to be Bayern Munich or Barcelona. And then over on the other side, it's Tottenham, Real Madrid, PSG and Milan. I don't know if we're on the bad side of the bracket, but if we go on to win this competition this year, we are going to have done it a very, very difficult way. I think that can be said right now. Not sure about that draw that we've just got, but we'll make do with it. Worth noting, Man City, we're playing against them, of course, twice. You can see they've appeared in our fixture schedule. As a result of those games being arranged, I think the Inter Milan game that I was going to do as part of the triple header has now been moved to May. So maybe that plan goes out the window. Maybe we throw in the Italian Cup semi-final second leg. That could be a possibility. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I feel like we'll wing it. We'll see how this season ends. It could end with us in everything. We could yet completely combust and have a really sad end to the year. I hope that won't be the case, though. Thank you for watching, as always, today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, do drop a like on it. It does help me out massively. It helps push the video far and wide. I love the fact so many of you guys are enjoying the series. We're playing some really nice football. Really enjoying playing with a unique tactical style. And well, I can't wait to do it all again tomorrow against Man City. Have a lovely rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow for more. And until then, it is me, Jack, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.